Can you hear me? Hi. Hi. I cannot hear you.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Hi. Yes, I can. Now I can hear.
Sorry, man. I apologize. My laptop's connected to my headphone, but I left it over there, and that was the issue.
Okay, no
Uh,
problem.
okay. So this is only like we'll meet for about half an hour. I'll talk a little bit about myself and sort of this role, and then maybe you can tell me a little bit about yourself, and then I have some questions for you from your resume, and then I'll open it up for any other questions, and then we should be done. I know you're gonna meet with other people. Have you already met with other people? I mean, beside David, have you met with?
Yes, this is the fourth interview I'm
Oh,
doing. One, I guess, was with the consulting company. Then I
uh-huh.
had two with other people from Disney. So this is the third one.
Okay, so there might be one more you have to do. Um, cool. All right. My name is Vaga Sergu. I'm the engineering manager for the track team. The track team stands for tax, refund, and chargebacks. And so we work on what's called the billing organization, the e-commerce side. So we're in charge of those three items mostly, and a few other things, but so we focus on those. Our team is about six people now. And this is all distributed, so there's some in the New York area, there's some in California, um, and Toronto, and one person in India. We mostly try to keep U.S. East Coast hours.
Okay.
Our architecture stack is all AWS. We're working on uh, mostly Dynamo, SQS, and then we use heavily Scala. And then for some reporting and other purposes, we use this data depository called Databricks, but you just query data through SQL basically.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm based out of New York. I'm originally from Ethiopia, and I've been working here at Disney for 8 years now.
Oh, good. A long
Yeah.
time.
So, yeah. That's about it. So tell me a little bit about yourself, and I might switch back and forth to your resume. I only have one screen, yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, good. Well, I'm from Brazil. I'm a developer since 2007, always working with Java systems, both from the first generation, where we had full stack monolithic applications using JSP, JSF, struts, and so on. On the past 9 years, I switched to back-end development using mainly Spring, but sometimes I do full stack roles too, where I mainly developed applications using Angular for the front end, but sometimes React, native applications for Android, both using Java and Kotlin. So that's a very brief of all those years as a programmer.
Got it, got it. Oh, I didn't know so where do you live in Brazil?
I'm living in São Paulo State, São
Sao
Paulo
Paulo.
City.
Oh, nice. I came to a wedding there a long time ago.
Good, good.
It's a really nice place. Really nice place.
For me in Brazil, at my time zone, it's amazing to work on your time zone because it's some hours later for me. So I do love to work this on this time zone.
Got it. Yeah. What time is it there now, right now?
Now it's 3 p.m. For you,
Oh,
maybe
so it's
it's
1 hour
1 or
difference.
2 p.m., right? You are
Yeah.
on, how you say that, summertime, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes it's
Oh.
2 hours ahead, sometimes 1 hour.
When there's that daylight savings. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
But both
gotcha.
scenarios are good for me.
Got it. Okay, very nice, very nice. Um, all right, give me a second. Let me pull up the resume. So I have some questions on that. So tell me a little bit about your current DBC company. So at least the recent one. Um, like, what's your involvement? What kind of stuff are you doing for them?
Okay. Well, there I worked at first moment on a banking company. It uses Java 17. So my role was a backend developer, and I built some endpoints on their APIs. This is a system that story owners use to administrate their contractor related to credit card machines, so they can see how much money they can receive and things like this. After that, I moved to the other project I'm right now, which is for an American company, which is on this time zone, as you said. It's a
Yeah.
health company, and there I do maintenance on legacy systems, use JSP and struts. Currently, I'm doing some maintenance in one that use React for the front end and Spring with as an API on the back end, and it runs on AWS and it has some integrations there to get some information. But from my side, I do development and sometimes deployment of the application on the cloud. I don't do the configurations of the cloud, those kind of stuffs, but I did it on study projects in the past. So I started a cloud from the scratch, created a C2 machine, and so on. You know.
Got it. Interesting. Okay. So it sounds like you've done a little bit more of um, front end work. We're mostly like back end engineering, so I just wanted to make sure that
No,
was
no,
clear.
more back-end engineer and front-end just small works. For instance, if I had to add a new field on the screen or build a simple new screen. But my main role is as a back-end developer.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Let me get back to the resume again. I had a couple other questions on that. Um, So do you have been your experience working with cloud? Like I know we use AWS, but have you used any cloud services?
Yes, in the past opportunity, it was about 2 years ago. I needed to both deploy the application. It was not Amazon at the start, it was OpenShift. So I opened a SSH terminal to stop the application, then do an FTP to put the file of the application there, go back on terminal, restart the application. And then for a legal need in Brazil, we had to move from OpenShift to Amazon because Amazon was the only provider at the time which had a locally data center because of governmental, because of laws. You could not interact with the tax system from the government from a machine outside Brazil. So we had to migrate to Amazon, and there I keep doing the same work. Another thing I did too is to look at the logs. So enter on Amazon console and take a look there on that tool to see the logs. I guess it is Logcat, the name, but it's that place where you access and you can have access to the logs of your running instance. Sometimes stop and start a EC2 instance. Those are the only things I interact directly on my day to day. But the application uses S3 to store and retrieve some file data. But I didn't develop this part of the system. It just was there, and I had just to configure the keys to access S3. And
Okay.
once on another company I worked at, I had to configure a security profile where you put your IP address to allow you to access the cloud. So enter the console, go to the security part of the console and make this change.
Got it. Got it. So what did you use? What services did you use in AWS?
Uh, you mean EC2 and things like that? Or other
I'm sorry?
services? EC2, the
Oh yeah, you
instance,
said okay, EC2. Did you use
EC2.
like Dynamo?
Yes,
Did you use
Dynamo,
SQL?
RDS for relational database,
Okay.
and
What did you use
Lambda.
for a relational database?
It's, I guess, Amazon RDS, the
Oh,
one
the
that has
RDS. Okay, okay.
a
Got it, got it.
Postgres
Okay.
instance, you know?
Okay. You said you used EC2, Dynamo. Did you say SQS?
No, SQS not yet.
No. Okay.
I mean RDS for relational database system.
Yeah, yeah, I got it. I got it. Okay. Makes sense. So have you worked on like event-driven kind of event-driven technology, like where just you put messages and things are getting processed asynchronously?
Yes, I used RabbitMQ on one company and Kafka on another. And there was a WebSphere message queue service that I worked on a system with that too. Both for WebSphere queues and Kafka were very simple scenarios. The WebSphere was just to keep historical data about data changes. So every time a user changes something on the system, it was generated a register on the queue. Then another process do the keeps record of that change, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
The
I got it.
other with Kafka was for user registering, then asynchronous send an email to the user just to don't stock the application. But for Rabbit, I did a more complex system at a telecom company from Brazil, which was related to a large amount of data it has to process. So we use a tool called Spring XG for that. What this tool did at the time it was read large files with a lot of informations. It was CSV files. So break each element from the CSV, insert on a queue, and then a lot of small units of process does that at this application. So, for instance, the first step, those add the one digit to this information, put on the queue, then another one gets the name of the user and save somewhere, then, it was like a pipeline with a lot of steps to get information processed, but since there was a large amount of data, it needed to be done step by step in the synchronicity.
Got it. Got it. Um, Makes sense. Makes sense. Let me see. What about the one? I have another question for. I'm curious. What did you use GraphQI for?
It was installed on the application, but it was just for REST queries. Instead of sending plain REST objects, we used GraphQL to do like some specific queries on the API, instead of just passing plain JSON to it.
You set up the query, or someone set up the
No,
query?
it was on the project. I just used it
You
to
just used
interact
it. I
with
got
the
it.
API.
Okay. And then can you tell me like what you did? What was your involvement at the one job before the Stefanini, I think?
Okay. Before that, I was at IBM. I think the last one you get on this resume is Stefanini, right?
Yeah, before this company, I have DBC company. Then before that was Stefanini, then IBM.
Okay. At IBM, I was at the project for the merge between T-Mobile and Sprint, and my squad was responsible to do small changes on a lot different systems, writing Java from all ages. So we have legacy systems from early 2000 until more modern application with Spring Boot and Angular for the front end. So all the changes were for this merge. So sometimes small things like making a column bigger on the database and then doing changes on the validation. Sometimes something bigger like implementing a business rule. So it was this kind of work. It's small changes, let's say, in a lot of different systems.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Um, tell me like an example you worked on where um, you're working with a lot of people and working mostly on the same things. Um, like what kind of challenges did you have?
Okay. Well, once on a retail company in Brazil, we had a team of about 12 developers. And at that time, we had a lot of problems with merges in codes because I was working on something, another people changes the same file. And then to make that easier, what we did was a lot of communication between the team in order to let other people know that we were changing some files. And later on this project, the company adopted at the time IBM clear case clear quest, which locked a file. So two people could not change the same file, but that was very hard for us to work this way. Then we started
Yeah.
to do pair programming every time we needed to change the same file.
Yeah.
So we could do a workaround on it. But since it
Oh,
was like a long time ago, today with Git and Git Flow, I never had this kind of problem again because I create a branch, do my development, then do a query and pull request, sorry, and then do the merge and solve conflicts and so on.
yeah.
But
Solve problem.
communication was the answer for that problem.
Well, that's really good. Yeah, that's good. Um, let's see. Gee, hold on one second. Got it. Got it. Okay. Uh, sorry, for Stefanini, what did you do?
Okay, there at the first moment I was allocated at Dell, the computer manufacturing company. It was a project which has Spring Boot for the backend and Angular for the frontend. Most of the systems I worked there were related with warranty for systems, so sometimes change the kind of the information stored on the database, put more characters on one field, and sometimes implement a business rule to check if the user has access to that warranty or not. So this kind of work. Later, still on Stefanini, I was moved to a banking company in Brazil, where I was part of the team that developed. I don't know how you say that in the US, but you are on the highway traveling by car to another city, then you have to pay to use that road, you know.
Toll.
Toll. So it is a tag that you put on your car, and then you pass. Don't have
Show
to
that.
stop
Yeah.
there. It was a Angular application with backend using Java and Spring, which interacts with the tags provider. You know, it was a web service from another company which really does this integration with the tool, and then our application does the uh, since it was a banking, the user could pay the amount, the tariff to pass there using his account, you know. So we did this
Got it.
integration between those two systems, and the application, the user could enter there and see how much he spent, enable and disable the tag and things like this.
Got it. Got it.
And I was working through doing maintenance side by side with this project, which we built from scratch. I was doing maintenance on a prepaid phone system there, which it was a monolithic application running in WebSphere using SOAP as the protocol to communicate with another systems.
Got it. Sorry. Have you used Terraform? That's what I was gonna do. Have you ever used Terraform?
No, I don't know it yet.
Okay. Okay. So what do you do for your CI CD?
Jenkins, most of
Jenkins.
the time Jenkins.
Okay. Have you used Spinnaker?
Sorry, I don't.
Spinnaker.
No, I don't know what it is.
Okay. And then what do you do for your support stuff in terms of like checking it, logs and things like that? Do you have a tool you use?
Oh, yes. On this banking company, for instance, we had a tool called Datadog, so we could take a look at the logs. But most of the time, I ask DevOps team and they send me a log to take a look on it. Or sometimes I do have access to the cloud and I can log in AWS console and get the logs there. But most of the time, someone sends me the logs to do the analysis.
Yeah.
As a developer, I don't have that permission.
Oh, got it. Yeah, for some the banks before I came here, I worked for a bank for a long time, and things are a little bit more strict than banks.
Yes.
So yeah, I can see that. I don't have any more questions, but we have a little bit of time, so I wanted to also just leave a little bit of time if you have any questions I can answer, or if there's anything you would like to know.
Okay. For this particular position, is to maintain on an existing application, or are you creating something from the scratch?
Kind of both. Like, so we have some I call them 4 core services that we maintain, that we built and we're maintaining. And then so there's usually some feature within these services we develop because some requirement came, or sometimes also revamping them so we can make them a little bit better, more efficient, given all the stuff we know about them now. So it's that. And then for one service, we're sort of like building a parallel service right next to it. The tax settlement service is kind of old, and it was really the first service we built. And it's been a while, and we kind of put a bunch of changes in there to accommodate a bunch of things. But then now we're realizing that it needs revamping, it needs cleaning up. There's just a lot of constantly like things that are asked to change, and initially like we're just, because of time constraint, we're just making changes right away and without sort of like figuring out how it's all gonna make sense. So we're designing sort of what we're calling the V2 version of it, where now we're trying to be more thoughtful and how we're gonna maintain everything. So anyway, that's a long way of answering your question. Is like there's some that is like new stuff we're working on, and then there's some is just like we need to new requirement comes and we need to address that.
Okay, good.
I'm the same.
So both of the works, great.
Yeah.
Okay, that was all from my side.
Cool. Okay. Are you a football fan?
Not very much. I'm more a music person. I like to play rock and things like that.
Ah, nice. Oh, what do you play?
I play drums, guitar, and bass. Like I have a band beside me, you know.
Holy
I
cow.
can play all the
Wow.
instruments and make some music my own. That's my hobby.
You play all those instruments?
Yes, I'm not a very good at any one of them, but I can make a rock song, you know,
Oh,
alone.
nice. Very nice. That's very cool. Cool, cool. All right. I think there's, so who have you spoken? Have you spoken to David? You have spoken to David.
Yes, David, one peer from
And then
India,
who else?
which I forgot his name, but I can
Is
check
it
it.
Dinesh or Mark?
Let me just take a look here. First, I talked with the Nash, before you,
Okay.
and I talked
And,
with
and then they have another one with
David.
Mark, right?
Yes, spoke with David, then the Nash, then you, and now I have another on Monday with. Let me check here.
Mark, right?
Mark, yeah.
When is that one?
That is next Monday. It was
Oh, it's
to
on.
be today, but he needed to reschedule it
You
to
need,
Monday.
yeah, I got it. I got it. Monday. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So once done with Mark, then we'll get together and give some feedback. Um,
Okay.
we'll let you know. Let you know.
Okay, good.
All right. Cool. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
Thank you too. Bye bye. Have a
All right.
nice one.
Bye-bye.
Caralho, a reunião foi boa essa aqui, hein, mano. Nossa, a outra foi muito pegada. Essa daqui, a primeira me bateu, essa aqui me alisou. Muito bom, mano. Essa daqui eu gostei desse papo aqui. Vamos ver, né? Agora tem mais uma aí na segunda-feira. E aí a gente vai saber se deu certo ou se não deu.